So we've talked a lot, bro. We've talked outside the gym, inside the gym, and what I've noticed just in society today, there's more anxiety in the air. And for me, in my experience, and what we've talked about, what I learn to the point of actually applying action to what I learned, there's this gap area of what can I do before I apply action, and I find myself a lot of times trying to perfect a system and then finding the right opportunity, the right timing. Is today the best day, etc. I'm a very aware, and I recognize that I'm causing delays, but I'm also very good at actually just pulling the trigger, and whatever happens.
And how good does that feel once you
throw
that action in there?
It's I think life is all, once you learn something, you have to apply action, because there's inspiration in there, there's motivation in there, and the longer you wait, I feel it starts to drop.
For sure.
Is that how you see it?
Yeah, and it takes a piece of your brain, that capacity, it takes a little bit of that piece of your brain, and you're constantly thinking about it. But to kind of go back to your purpose, in my opinion, I think purpose is the root of everything. And the way I was able to find my purpose is I think of the historic, meaning I don't think about today. I think, and it's never about money. It's always about, okay, what do I want to leave behind? How do I want people to perceive me? Mm-hmm. And when I figure that out, I can reverse engineer that and then really get down to really figuring out what my purpose is. And after doing that in so many years, I always thought I knew what my why was. I knew what my purpose was. And then now that I'm growing older and have a family, I've narrowed it down to knowing exactly what my purpose is. And my purpose is building people, building businesses, and building a legacy. Note that none of that has anything to do with a dollar amount or money or an empire.
Yes.
It's not about that. It's more, it's just greater. It's what am I leaving behind? How am I changing people's lives? Because it's not just about me. It's not just about the head of the leaders at Bloom. It's how can we bring people together and help change people's lives.
Yes.
So that's kind of how I learned what my purpose was. And another thing too is the perception of the world. It's the question becomes, how do I want to be perceived to the world? Not to people, but to the world. And I learned I want to be a dope-ass dad. I want to be a dope father. I want to be a great son. I want to be a good leader that just happens to be good at real estate. And I'm going to turn the mic back on you because I look at you and I see what you're doing. You push your limits with damn near anything and everything that you've touched, whether it's been your business, your health, everything from A to Z. I feel like Nassim his mindset's unbelievably good. He researches everything and anything that comes with things that go into his body.
Sure.
You push yourself to the limits where you're doing 50K, you're doing 70K runs. That just happens to be a serial entrepreneur who's built some pretty dope ass businesses, who was an underdog, and no one bet on him.
No.
But he bet on himself, and what happened? He proved to the world. And so that's kind of what I'm so aware, like you said, I'm so aware of now how I want to live my life on a day-to-day basis. When I look in the mirror, I'm like, who am I? Like, what kind of player do I want to be in this game? Because I have a game that I play, and it's real estate. And I look in the mirror and I say, do I want to be a Kobe? Do I want to be a Muggsy Bogues? Do I want to be a Steph? And then I take that in, and I'm out there showing the world.
Do you feel? And I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, for sure. It's facts.
I definitely try to. I just try to become better in everything that I do, and obviously, as we both age, everyone ages and matures. There's a lot of experience and knowledge that I've gained through those
and wisdom
through those life experiences. And then I look at it and I'm like, all right, how can I improve on all of those facets? And so for me, like, and as you mentioned, there's a lot of things that I do now that I would have hesitated before, right? Whether it's the long runs that I do, or the discipline with my health and the gym, et cetera, or even just building out these projects and past businesses and companies that I've built. When I talk to you, Bloom, obviously, Bloom Real Estate, which you've been doing. How long have you been doing it now?
I've been in real estate about 10 years. Bloom is 4 years.
Okay, 4 years. So 4 years you've been doing this. Every time I see you, dude, you're nonstop. You're on the phone off the phone, in the gym, on the phone, gotta go, flying out to different places, driving. I mean, you're a, I don't want to say it in a negative way. You are a workaholic, but in the best way possible, because you are an entrepreneur in your own space. My question to you, and it's also just a general question for people to look at in their own life, is, are you like that with everywhere in your life? Or, okay, or if you're not, why are you not, when you know and just said you want to be all those things?
Yeah, I love that. This is awesome. To answer your question, growing up, I was never like that. I was very self-conscious about sports. I was self-conscious about school. I never had that real confidence within me. Now, because of my coaches, shout out Angie Wisdom, shout out Kevin Stridovan, I went through a deep dive and really tried to figure out, all right, cool, why can't I be confident in all facets of my life? I was always a go-getter. I've always been a hustler when it comes to work. But can I apply that to everything? Like, as simple as going and playing a soccer game and being like, hey, I'm a champ. I got this, you know? And what helped me was the self-belief in having that confidence within yourself. Mm-hmm. I think if you can apply that towards anything and everything, then in time, you're going to, it's just, your body's going to react towards it, right? So like you just waking up in the morning and saying, hey, I'm a 70K runner, every day telling yourself that. What happens is, after some time, your brain rewires itself.
It does.
And now you're going to do a 70K run.
It does.
You know, your body might be like, fuck, what did I do?
Yeah.
But you told yourself that you could do it. Now your body's like, I got this. So it doesn't apply in every facet for me. Well, and I saw you at the gym the other day. I'm like, damn. Why don't I take this mindset and throw it into sports and this and that? But
here's the reason. Well, see, this is, as much as you say that, which I appreciate, dude. There's so many mornings where I get up. I feel like everyone goes through this, where I get up and I don't want to do shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still a human being, whether it's the gym. Dude, I'll just wake up and for me, and I heard this quote, and of course I'm going to forget it now. My emotions are the first thing to hit me before my logic steps in.
Yeah.
Is that how it is for you?
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
And I feel like a lot of people base a lot of their actions on emotions versus logic.
For sure.
Because it's always about mood. Oh, yeah, I just wasn't feeling like it today.
Yep.
Or I got to go do something. And anytime I always find it funny when I ask people how come they don't do something, and they're like, oh, just wait till you have a family, or wait till there's two things that come to mind. Number one, why are you using your family as an excuse?
Yeah.
Right. Fine. Spend time with your family. I'm not, that is respectable and honorable, and there's fulfillment, purpose, all those things there. But what about for you?
Yeah.
Right?
How are you filling your cup first?
Exactly.
Yeah. I use the analogy of, I'm sure we've all heard this, but you know when you go on an airplane and they always tell you, if the airplane, God forbid, goes down, put the mask on yourself first, so that you're alive, you're good. And then anyone around you can help. And it's very, very important. And I'll tell you what's helped me big time. Obviously, like you said, causing awareness is huge, but those emotions, those little sounds that you have coming in our brains, it's limiting beliefs. It's the little sounds that are telling you, hey, look, you know what? I'd rather chill today. I'm good. My body feels good. I don't want to work out. Mm-hmm. But what it is we all have this. It's just the little bit of limiting beliefs that we have. And the way to get over that was, the coaching that I went through was really cool, because what we did was we took our 5 or 10 limiting beliefs, we wrote it down on a piece of paper, and then we took another piece of paper and we wrote the opposite of that. So for me, I'm gonna tell you guys how I was when I first got in real estate. I always knew that I wanted to be in luxury real estate. I wanted to be in development and X, Y, and Z. But there was that sound when I wake up in the morning in my brain that say, hey, Hamid, you know what? You don't have enough experience to sell a luxury a high-end home. Your skin color might be too brown. You need to be in the industry for 10 more years to be able to sell a home in this caliber. I wrote all those down. As soon as I wrote it down, I lit that thing on fire and I got rid of it. The opposite of it, I wrote the opposite down. So you don't need to have 20 years of experience to be a luxury agent. Your skin color doesn't mean anything in the business of real estate, especially because we're in such a diverse area.
Yeah.
I wrote all those 5 10s of the opposites of what I had written down for the limiting beliefs. I took that thing and I threw it in my freezer, and I swear to you, Nassim, for 2 weeks, I read every single one of those.
Every day?
Every day. for 2 weeks. I wrote that down. I read it every single day. And what that did was it allowed me to rewire my brain to be like, I got this. This is who I am. This is who I'm looking myself in the mirror, and this is who I want to be. That's what helped me out. The awareness, being able to overcome these little sounds, these little voices, because we all have it.
Yes.
But it's like, how are you going to be mentally strong to overcome these limiting beliefs?
Yes.
That's what's helped me out big time. So
we talked about coaching, you know, and you're an advocate of coaching. You work with a coach. There is, I outside of you and maybe one other person, I worked with a coach. It's been over a decade, but currently I'm not working with any coach. You are. Again, I know one other person. Most of the people that I know that are having what they figure to have success in their life, I'm not going to judge anyone on what they define success or not as, you know, whatever they're achieving in life. Do you find value in the coaching where you would recommend everyone get a coach? And I'm only asking that because there's so much now for free online to kind of self-teach yourself, become self-aware of who you are. And, you know, if you actually put in that discipline and do all these things to become better, right? Some people would consider that they don't need a coach.
Yeah.
What's your experience?
My experience is, first of all, how are you tracking this? Second of all, who's holding you accountable?
I don't think anyone tracks it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so then how do you know my goal is this, and I'm going to reverse engineer this, and then I know what to do to get there. And personally, my experience with coaching is I've had someone, it always comes down to accountability. I have someone that I can confide to, and I could tell this person, hey, look, this is who I want to be. This is my goals. And then now I have someone that's going to really hold my hand and be like, all right, cool. Are you doing this? And if you're not, what's the consequence? Because the consequence has to be so big to the fact, like if I don't do something, I tell my coach, like, if we're not going to agree on a consequence, I'm not going to agree to this, right? So what I'll do is I'll put like, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And if I don't, I'm going to shave my head bald. Or I'm going to put a tattoo of your company's logo on my arm, right?
Yeah.
Because it has to be so beyond.
It does.
Because then it's like we can all get comfortable. We get in this place of like, for me, I might have a couple of good months, and then I could be like, you know what? I feel like I'm doing good.
Yes.
I feel like this has been a great run. And then what happens is, because I'm not consistent and I'm not pushing myself, no one's holding me accountable, 2 or 3 months go by in real estate, you know, you might not get a check for 2 or 3 months. And it happens to me quite often, right?
That's right.
Now, if I'm not consistently hunting, prospecting, understanding where the return on investment of my time really is, then I'm going to just be running
all over the
around,
place,
helping this person, helping that person.
Yes.
But dude, I only have 6, 7, 8 hours in a day. How am I going to take that time and make sure that I bring in the return on investment of my time? Because I'm aware of it. I know where I make my money. I still door knock. I still cold call. But I do the homes that are 3, 4, 5 million and up, because I know that if I do 40 hours of door knocking or 40 hours of cold calling, I just need one client. Now, if you do the math, how much is that per hour?
Right.
But now if I spend an hour helping this person on their media or their, right?
Yes.
That's me taking $1,000 or $2,000 of my day.
Yes.
And taking it out of my bucket and pouring it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it's very, very, very important to be aware of all of that.
But what about with life?
With life.
Where does the coaching fit into your life? I understand from the business, right?
Yeah.
You're talking, I'm an entrepreneur. We both are. I understand 100% what you're seeing. A lot of people, when they think coaching, they're like, okay, cool. My business is doing well. I don't need coaching, right?
Yes.
But I look at the opposite side, because we've talked a lot about, again, fulfillment, purpose. A lot of this stuff doesn't come, it's just a byproduct of who you are, right? How does it, what are you gaining from the coaching into your own life? And then are you applying it? And then if you're not applying it, why are you not?
Yeah. For your personal, for my life, it helps me a lot, because if I have some of these off days and these voices and things like that, it allows me to really be aware. And it's so important. I say awareness because I think it's the most important thing. You need to know how you feel, why you feel that. Just a small example. In our household, my wife's aura, she has the biggest aura, meaning if she's happy, the house feels happy.
Sure.
If she's down or
I
whatever
agree
case
with
it,
that.
right?
Yeah.
So now getting the coaching and really realizing like, okay, cool, what's going on in the household? I got you. So you have to just be on the team, make sure you're providing and doing your thing as far as being on the same page. So it helps me become a lot more aware. And then the doing part is where there's the gap, right? So I've gotten to my coaching sessions, full transparency, okay? We have had a couple of sessions, and my coach would be like, hey, you're about a 10 out of 10 as far as knowledge. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's okay. We're being real. When it comes to knowing, you're a 10 out of 10. You're fucking out of this world.
She said that to you?
Straight up.
Okay.
All right? She said, you're a 10 out of 10.
So you're a 10 out of 10 with your awareness.
Yes.
Got it.
Awareness. Acknowledging also what I need to be doing personally myself.
I agree,
To
'cause
better
we talk
myself,
about this
right?
a lot.
We talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it. We
yeah,
go
yeah,
on runs and whatnot. But there is a gap between the doing. I get sidetracked, or I don't feel like it, or I have an off day, and there's a gap, and we need to figure out what this is where she comes in. What is in between this gap that's holding you back to where you know you need to be? And that's where I'm like, damn, that's a struggle.
So this is
day.
so when I talk to you a lot, and I mentioned, and again, the running is just one thing that of many things that you could do. I always, and I've mentioned this to you, for me, I appreciate, I understand coaches, and I do think coaches have a value, right? Of course, the coaches come with a nominal fee, and then people are going, oh, I can afford it, whatever. But if you could afford it, I 100% believe everyone should get a coach to just better themselves, the accountability, et cetera.
For sure.
Right? Because not a lot of people, the average person, 99% of them are not like documenting, okay, cool, today I did this, and they're not doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I agree, that's where the coaching comes in. Where I was going with what I was explaining to you is, for example, the running for me it's never been about the health aspect of it. That's also a byproduct of just running. It was always about mental control.
Yeah.
Right? Creating mental structure where it's not like I'm running and I'm thinking, okay, cool, let me organize my calendar. It's not that, but it's going through that pain and suffering that I don't necessarily want to do, but I'm doing it because I know afterwards it's going to make everything seem easier.
Yes.
Why is it, if you do or don't, I'll allow you to answer that, you don't look for more, I don't want to call it hardships, but more action into doing something challenging that creates more of that structure where now every day you can hold yourself accountable to yourself without a coach.
Yeah. I think human nature, you create
I
excuses.
agree. I know that.
You do. You
I
create
know.
excuses. You have this, like I said earlier, like I mentioned, I'm good. I feel good. I don't, right? And then you end up in this trap. But it's the excuses. You kind of get in this world of shit, I've had 40 people lined up at my door and I have all this going on. And you find excuses. You find things to kind of lead you off the path.
Forget the work for a second, because bro, it's very easy for both of us to talk business. I could talk it for hours. I'm saying for everything else, because I know who you are, right? And if somebody's watching or listening to this, they don't know who you are outside of just the past 10, 15, 20 minutes that we've been talking. And you mentioned how structured you are in business. I'm saying outside of that, to become better, right? What are you doing to become better? The family man aspect of it, right? You have to play the role of the father. So of course you're doing that. But what about for yourself? Because I feel personally, when I talk to individuals, whether they have their own family or not, that doesn't matter. I always ask, like, are you finding your own purpose and fulfillment outside of the family, where you as an individual are happy with what you've done in life for yourself in terms of that true fulfillment of what your identity is? Because real estate is not your identity.
For sure. Yeah. 100%. Your question is, am I doing that?
I'm asking you, how are you applying that? So going back for a second, right? The coaching, applying that to your life, right? To your personal life, not just the business side. And then when all human beings, they'll fall off, you got to get back on track, etc. How are you getting back on track outside of business in your own personal life if you're falling off?
Journaling. It sounds hilarious, but
okay.
Journaling. Yeah. And, a lot of people probably won't do coaching because I don't know if it's an ego thing. Everyone has their reasons.
I think it's ego.
Yeah, I agree. Everyone has their reasons, but I got into coaching because the guy that I mentored with, his numbers are out of this world. Like anywhere from 5 million plus he's making. So I'm like, if this guy's doing it, I'm doing it. So when I got into coaching, journaling was everything to me. Because what you're doing now is you're putting your intentions on paper. When I wake up every single morning, you guys see I'm on social media, I'm in the sauna or the cold plunge, and I sit down and I make 15 minutes. I give 15 minutes to myself. And that's before the kids wake up, before the ruckus happens.
What do you? Can I ask what you're? Give me the details.
Yeah.
Because people, and I'm only asking because I'm an advocate of journaling. Okay. Do I do it every day? No, I'd be lying to say I do. Of course, when I remember, I do it. What are you writing down?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. So the first part of the journal is awareness. It's asking me, how do I feel today? Do I feel motivated and ready to go get it? Or do I feel kind of slumpy, don't want to start Monday, right? So I write that down. And it's different for you when you write it down. You kind of zoom out and you're in a third person position in a sense, right? The next part of it is adjustments. How are you going to adjust the feeling that you have from your awareness part of it, right? Now, if you feel good, you feel great, you're motivated, great. Ride on this and see how you can do to add one more to your rep for the day, right? And if you feel some type of way that's slumpy or whatever the case is, then you're gonna write an adjustment to kind of overcome that objection per se, right? Then the next part is intentions. I write down 4 or 5 intentions, and intentions isn't like I gotta go and do 40 calls of high-end luxury homes. I gotta go to the gym. It's not your to-do list. The intention part is what is the outcome of what you want to do, right? So my intention is coming here, sitting with Nassim, not giving an interview, but how can I provide value from the interview that I'm doing with you, right? So those are my intentions. I'm writing 4 or 5 of those, and I'm being very broad but very intentional. The next part is your gratitude part, right? If you were to say, what was your favorite word in 2026 and beyond, grateful. Gratitude. That's just the type of person that I am. It's rooted within me. I've always been like that. My wife tells me the same way. Like even a cup of coffee that's tastes really good, I'm like, man, this is amazing. Like every time my kids take a drink of water, I say shukr, meaning thankfulness. So I'm a very, very grateful person. So I write down what I'm grateful for. Then the next part is, what are your prayers? You know, so what do you pray? What do you want to see in the future? Then the last part is, what do you visualize? So now I'm like, okay, cool. I visualize X, Y, and Z based on my intentions. So it's funny because you're putting all this out into the world. You're writing it down. You have something that you can zoom out and read it on a day-to-day basis. And to me, to be completely honest with you, nothing is better than journaling every single day, because now I'm holding myself accountable. I'm aware of everything. And it's not business related. It's personal. You know, grateful for my mom being better with her health. You know, so it could be just as simple as that.
What do you think is the reason most people don't want to do these things? And because what we're talking about is nothing new, right?
Yeah.
There's thousands of podcasts, tens of thousands of YouTube videos, social media. Everyone talks about, I just saw this. I saw this recent clip where somebody was talking about how people are over optimizing. I gotta wake up 5 a.m. and do all these things, right? And when I saw that, I thought to myself, like, all right, I understand that perspective. Over optimization can also cause a lot of stress, right? But I also feel like society has softened a lot in so many different aspects of just everything. I feel like society in general has gone a little lazier, if not a little lazier in some aspects, a lot lazier. Why do you think most people that listen to this or the thousands of other people preaching about doing things that are challenging, writing these things down, holding yourself accountable, they don't want to do it? What is your own thoughts behind why people that we know? And I mentioned this, I don't give a shit. I'll be full transparent. You're the only guy I know outside of myself where I'm here and there that actually journals. I don't know a lot of people that journal.
I think that they haven't tasted the benefits of it. They haven't done a 50K, 70K run and pushed themselves to the limit and be like, fuck, can I do this?
Sure.
And then you're like, I did it. You know? So I think that a lot of people haven't really seen what it can do for your life. That's one. Two, the ego. I think that people think it's drinking some Kool-Aid. You know, it's not cool.
You think it's for the hype? Like it's like, oh, journaling, and you're just doing it for the hype, or do you think, is that what you mean?
I mean, like, yes, for the hype. Yes, I think it's like people are like mindset and this and that. Like, we get it, you know, and all that. And I feel like people haven't experienced it in order to really get the benefits of it.
Do you feel? Well, let me talk about myself for a second, and not to just be, it's not to be selfish, but you'll understand where I'm going with this, and then you can say it as well. I have learned a lot over the last 10 years where, you know, I'm definitely very entrepreneurial, very driven on the entrepreneurial route of building something and then seeing it come to life. And, you know, what I've built in the past, I have recognition for it. And then, of course, I had my own set of failures in that prior business. But from that, I gained knowledge that I don't think I would have otherwise. For example, the value of time. I understand that money is a necessity in today's society. For sure. Everyone knows that. I've also realized that my time has more value than money, where money can't necessarily, money doesn't increase time, right?
Sure.
It can, of course, this is self-explanatory. Money can help in a lot of different ways, but where I'm going with this, and then you can obviously give me your 2 cents, is I've realized that time, as fast as it moves, we should be doing things that we love to do. I've started to do that in the past 6 to 12 months, and I've gained so much more fulfillment from that than the prior decade, where I didn't necessarily have, you know, there wasn't financial hurdles, but I didn't feel that same fulfillment that I'm feeling now. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's probably because you may have found your purpose. I think that it's not a monetary thing for you.
I agree.
I think it's more of like, how can I leave behind something, or how can I change someone's life?
Right? Well, that's exactly. I have felt. I believe, in my heart and soul, I believe everyone is destined to be inspirational to someone else or many, right? Whether it's your own kids, coworkers, outside of business, anybody that you could help influence. I believe that's the highest level of fulfillment.
There's no greater feeling.
There's no greater feeling.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel my purpose is. If I can give somebody inspiration through my experiences and constantly level up to not for ego purposes, but to show others you can do the same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Do you feel like you are doing that?
I do feel like that.
Okay.
And it's because I really enjoy what I do. And
so who are you? So then who are you outside of Bloom?
Who am I outside of Bloom? I'm a person who loves to uplift and inspire people, for sure.
Okay.
I'm a person who loves to build people. Forget businesses, but I'm a person who wants to carry on my family's legacy as well. Mm-hmm. And again, it's not monetary by any means, but you know, I had a strong influence in my life who was my grandfather, and he paved a path for me. And so I feel like he was such a giver into the world that he's kind of passed the baton to me, and I want to do the same in my way. I'm not a doctor, he was. But I have an avenue where I can help people and I can uplift and inspire people. And it took a lot. It took a lot of confidence building and self-belief. 100%. We hear it everywhere. Yeah. It sounds very cliche, to be honest with you.
No, it is.
It does. It is. But for me, from what I've done, or what we've done, because we're just a big team here, for what we've done, it's all rooted from having the confidence and the self-belief and telling yourself every single day, I am great, I am this, I am that. And then sure enough, the world reacts and you'll be like, where did this come from?
Yes.
It's just what you're putting out into the world.
Yes.
You know, so that's kind of how I look at it all in a short synopsis.
I inherently believe that everyone wants to inspire others. I really do. But I also believe that most people don't, because they're so and I understand too, because everyone's focused on their own lives, right? Like there's this thing on social media where, and I'm sure everyone has seen it, where they constantly say no one gives a fuck about what you're gonna do. So don't be shy, don't be timid. Just go out and do it, right?
Yep.
Whether it's making content, starting a business, whatever. And I think everyone wants to, but they don't because of insecurities.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Everyone has levels of insecurity. Now it's to each their own on how they're going to break through them. But I know you for years. You know me. I say it to this day. Of course, I still have my own insecurity.
Well, you and I have talked in the gym before, and I'm like, Nassim, I don't know if I'm the guy who's just going to be like this in front of the camera.
I know.
And it's funny you say this because you used to tell me like, hey man, less polish.
Yes.
And I know the world loves authenticity. So now I'm trying to be more authentic.
Yeah.
But even myself, I'm looking at the camera. I'm like, there's no way I could post this. I think, fuck. I really don't know what to say, but it's people. I don't know. Good question. I had it there and I fucking took it out. Bro. Fuck, I had it. I lost my train of thought. But
I feel that, I guess, if I had to share kind of what I'm doing, dude, it's just, it never ceases to amaze me that anytime, not just me, anybody I know that starts something, nobody believes it's going to take off.
Yeah.
And then when it takes off, they take them seriously.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it is.
Society.
Why I don't understand why why their head is wired like
it's
that.
It's the same thing as like people are always like, "Oh, cool, nice to meet you. What do you do for work?"
Yes.
What the fuck does that matter, bro?
Yeah.
It's not who I am. I'm a CPA. I'm actually a sick ass dude though. Did you know that?
Yeah, exactly.
It's society and the way they label people and the hierarchy and it's
Do you think it's because of social media?
For sure.
It has to be,
100%.
bro.
Nailed it on the copper.
It has to be. I don't remember this pre-social media.
The reason why people connect with you is because you're authentic. People want to connect with people who are like, if I'm driving a Prius, let me post that Prius while I'm driving. People like to connect with what's real.
Mm-hmm.
All the fugazi and the flamboyance and this and all that, it's all just, it's makeshift in my opinion. And that's like how I want to be perceived in the world, that somebody was very, very authentic himself, personable, humble, modest. Like those are the traits that I want to hold.
Does your circle reflect that ideology?
Yeah.
It does?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you have to cut people out?
I did, for sure. That's just the way it happens.
Yeah,
though,
same. Same.
And like, we have a long way to go. I mean, we have a long way to
For
grow,
sure.
but we're right where we need to be. And we're in a pretty good spot. And just with natural progression of life, that's what happens. Some people will gravitate towards you because they're like, hey, I was rooting for you the whole time. And then the people who weren't, they'll kind of fall off. And we hear this all the time. And that's just the way life is,
Is it difficult to, and again, this is, I'm referring to my experience because unfortunately I know what making a lot of money looks like and then starting from zero again. Do you feel like the growth of you financially will, I already know the answer to this. My question was going to be, do you feel like the growth of you financially is going to make you happier? The answer is no, but you continue to do it. If you know the answer is no, why do you do it?
Because I want to be the best at what I'm doing.
Okay.
Just like I tell my kids,
I
you
agree.
guys can be anything.
I agree.
You guys want to be a garbage man, but be the best fucking garbage
Yes,
man there is.
Yes.
It's all good.
I agree.
I feel like we have this one shot at life. So just take your shot and be the best damn player you can be.
So it's not about the financial aspect of it.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. It's about what industry are you in?
Yes.
Think of it as a game. Think of it as a sport. And what player do you want to be? What type of player do you want to be in that industry? And be that best damn player that you can be. That's what I look at myself. I'm in the sport of this. I still love door knock. I don't care if it makes crazy amounts of money. It's not about that. It's the fact that I know that there are people at the top who are not doing that.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to do it.
Yes.
I'm going to make myself up there.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. It's just like, there's no reason that this person could be where they are and I can't be. No comparison, because I know comparison is a thief of joy. But I look at people and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm inspired by this person.
Yes.
And I'm going to put the effort and the work that I can put in and to be on that person's level.
Do you feel, and I agree with you. I think anybody that's doing anything in their life that they feel that that drive to want to do in, let's just say, in terms of a career, right? Absolutely. If you love what you do, there's no reason why you shouldn't keep pushing further and trying to excel on that path. What I try to do now is, with what I'm doing now, I'm trying to integrate this into my own, I don't want to call it a brand because that seems very business oriented. I'm trying to integrate it into who I am as a human being. Does this reflect into that? And so I try to, with that integration, I want to grow myself along with, whether it's this podcast, the YouTube channel, etc. Everything that I'm doing, I want it to be who I am and grow along with that. Meaning, I don't want the business to be separate from who I am. Right?
Sure.
My question is, I guess, to throw it back at you is, do you see yourself putting equal 50-50 into who you are as a brand? Because we already talked about how you are not a real estate person. This is what you do. But also, you just defined that whatever you do it the best. I agree with that. Do you feel like there's a balance where you're growing both you and the business equally? Or do you, well, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yeah. I want to hear that. That was good.
Yeah, so because I feel like, especially the male entrepreneurs I know, dude, it's always fucking money talk. It's always money talk. Do you know how many people I have conversations with about health and lifestyle and
that
like,
goes
okay,
out
what
there,
do
one ear out the other,
bro? It's rare.
I know.
It's rare, and I know the circle of people I know. I've known them to be like this, so it's not. It's not to negate and say, oh, they should. I'm not trying to. This isn't to change anyone, but it just, I guess for me, it's just very interesting that, again, with the male entrepreneurs I know, they're very destined to become something so successful in business, which is great. But then on the other,
disconnect.
There's a disconnect,
and I think it's being complacent into their life, their personal life, in comparison. They have such a higher value when it comes to the monetary side. When it's like, what about you?
Yes.
What are you doing?
What
for
about
yourself?
you? Exactly.
I think there's a huge topic there for sure. That's a topic in its own. But damn, I had something really good I was about to go into. I forgot where I was going with it though.
We were talking about equally growing yourself as an individual, who you are versus the business. I was talking about, a lot of guys that I know, the majority of them, they don't want to challenge themselves mentally, physically. It's always the money, and then I'm building this and I'm buying that, and it's like, it's all great, but I'm also like, dude, time is running out for you. Like, time is running out for who you are. And it's like, you can make money at any point in your life. It's not to say you shouldn't start early and try to, right? Money does make life easier. But that's where I was.
My belief is that it's within you. It's something that you're born with. Just like having a real estate company, not every...
What are you born with?
A sense of drive.
You think so?
I think so, 100%. 100%. There's something that's within you. Not on you, but within you. And I see it in my business all the time.
I agree, not to cut you off. I agree on the entrepreneurial end. I holistically believe entrepreneurs, that drive is either you have it or you don't. That's not to say you cannot not become an entrepreneur. Anybody can do whatever they want if they put their mind to it, right? But you don't. But are you saying that somebody that doesn't have that drive can't get that drive?
I think somebody will have that drive, and they can have a drive in certain aspects of their life. But it won't be an overlook on everything. It won't be like an umbrella with everything. It's just money, business. But then they don't have any drive anywhere else.
Well, let me give you
complacentness.
I agree. Okay, this is a good topic. I don't want to linger because I can go an hour here. But let me just. But here's where I'm going with this. Again, I go to the running aspect because just of what running has done to my mind and my life and how I feel. Bro, it's not like I've been running for 20 years.
Yeah.
All right. I've been hiking for decades. I've been hiking for years and years. And then I started running right around COVID. And I started running because I started to feel mentally weighed down. And I found my own inspirational figures. For example, David Goggins.
Yeah.
David Goggins, he wrote a book. I read the book and I felt inspired by that. And I'm like, I'm going to go for a run. I didn't want to run. In fact, the first half mile I did, dude, I was hurting knees, this and that, right? I have my own health issues during that period of time that come on and off. But now it's just, I incorporated it into my lifestyle because I know what the outcome is. Do I like running? Fuck no.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not pushing back on what you're saying. I guess I'm just trying to show you that I chose to do something that was difficult and I still don't want to do because of what the outcome is. I believe that people can create that drive if they understand what it will do for them, but they have to recognize there's hardship. They have to challenge themselves, and the majority of people don't want to challenge themselves.
So let me challenge you then.
Yeah.
You have been on runs and you know,
Yes.
with other people, and
Yes.
they're like, damn, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Why are they not coming back?
Because of fear. They think, I don't think I'm anything special. They have fear. Dude, we talked about this on our run. They have fear that I'm going to go the length. So like they see like, okay, I'm doing 10 miles, 15 miles, 20, and they're like, oh, I can't do that. And I'm like, I'll hang with you. I'll do. I think it's that. And I think they don't like the feeling of putting themselves, challenging themselves, putting the suffering, bro.
Yeah.
It's just to simplify, it's the suffering. Suffering can be taken. It's a very subjective term. It's a very because you can be like, oh my God, why would you put yourself in suffering? That's bad for you. Right? But there's growth in that suffering. But that's the reason why.
I'm a big believer of leaning into that sufferance.
Yes, I know you are.
Big time. You know, there'll be times I'm like, I get a call and I'm like, holy shit, like why? What's going on? Why this and that? But then you have to acknowledge that this is part of the journey.
Yes.
How are you going to grow? Even with, I'm a big believer in suffering. You know, my kids are sick. Great. I know why. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, thickens their skin. So people are afraid of that sufferance. You know, they get a taste of it and they're like, damn, that was hard.
Too much.
That was tough. That was too much. And I am a believer of the more you lean into that sufferance, the more you understand that it happened for a reason. It happened. It was God's work. It was the world, you know?
Yeah.
And whatever outcome comes from that, if you're able to take that as an asset, then you did your job. It was an awesome experience. Keep going, keep doing it. But then that's within me because I'm like an addict. I'm an addict with that. You know, we went on a run. I'm like, bro, I'm doing this every single week.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
I haven't showed up.
No, you haven't showed up. You haven't.
But I'm in the gym. I'm playing soccer.
No. You are doing. Yeah.
But I'll show up.
Yeah.
You know, I will show up because I enjoyed that, and I'm so acknowledged. Or I'm very aware of like that feeling, and I know how good that is for me, and I want to taste that more and more and more. So I think people are afraid. They're very complacent. I think people are afraid to lean into that sufferance. Fear, like you said, is I agree with you, but still I'm gonna have to stick to my point where I do feel it's something within you. I do feel that.
I do think there is an advantage that some people have over others. Some people struggle, and it's because of their upbringing, etc. And I agree with that.
You know, there's something within you. You know, I'm learning to lean into anything bad that happens. I don't tell myself, why is this? Is this a shitty situation? I don't.
No, you shouldn't.
Now I'm like, okay, cool. There's things in the world that I can't control, and I have to accept that.
Yes.
And when that comes into your path, run with it. Lean into it, because with time, you're either gonna get through it, and you're gonna get wiser, smarter, and you're gonna be like, "Damn, I'm glad I went through."
Yes,
that.
yeah.
You know,
no.
So that's my.
So a couple of things, and then we can wrap. One thing I've also done, and I know you are, but one thing I've done this year more specifically is bring in more spirituality into my life and with things that I'm doing, and it's helping me to find, it's driving me for more purpose and fulfillment in everything that I'm doing. How do you feel spirituality has affected your life, and how do you use it for your own purpose and fulfillment? And then if you are, and I think I know what you're going to say, how do you use that spirituality to push you through challenges that you know you don't want to do, but you're forcing yourself to do it anyways?
Because I know the after effect of it. I know how good that is for me, my soul. That's why when I do go into the sauna, the cold plunges, I always put mind, body, and soul, because I love to fill myself up first. Because then I could come home, or I could wake up in the morning and be, in an awesome mood, because I'm like, you know what? I had it for myself. And I'm a big believer of God, obviously, so I always put God first. Even on my prayers in my journal, it says, what is one of your prayers? To have a closer relationship with God. And I feel like a lot of us, whether you believe in God or not, but I feel like a lot of us, we when times are tough, there's funerals, that's when you're like, God, why is this happening? God.
Yes.
But then what about the good times?
Yes.
What about when
Always.
things are going good?
It's
Where is God
It's
then?
always in the negative. And that's what I was going to say, not to take this away from spirituality. And I agree with you. That's what I was going to say is people don't touch their health until there's a problem.
Yes.
There's no preventative action, right? As you get older, these are things that you just need to do, but people don't see it and they wait for a problem to happen.
And that's probably why most people are money.
That's
go,
why.
Go. And then God forbid, as soon as a heart attack or this, that, next thing you know.
That's right.
I 100%. They're complacent where they're at until something hits the fan.
Yes.
Until shit hits the fan.
So that's what. So spirituality, and you mentioned it. I use spirituality to ground me now with the actions I'm trying to provide to others in the form of inspiration, whether it's through this or, if I talk to you at the gym or whatever, because we're always trying to be positive
100%.
whenever we talk, right?
And I feed off that.
Yeah.
I feed off that for sure. In the gym, after the gym, it's contagious.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's why my circle, we're now... Yeah, work circle. We're all the same page. You need to have that.
You have to have it.
100%. It's an infectious energy for sure.
Last comment from you. What would you tell if somebody's listening or watching this? They watch the whole thing and they're like, "Meh, these guys they're just another couple of schmoes that just talking to talk." How would you frame this for somebody that could use this value? How would you give it to them? How would you package it? Because it's, again, there's a lot of noise, dude.
Yeah, I was never a person who ever thought that I would. I'll take that back. When I was young, I always knew that I wanted to be great at something.
I think everyone does, yes.
Yeah, and I tried so many different things. I was a dancer. I played soccer. I played tablas. I did so many different things, but I never was like, what is it? And then I went through businesses and I failed, and then I was like, damn, is this who I am? I'm a failure. So it took me a lot to really, right? Now looking back, if I was just a little bit more confident, if I had a little bit more self-belief growing up, I feel like earlier on in life, there have been so much more that I could have done. No regrets, but that confidence at an early age, having that normal mom and dad who can feed you that,
sure,
it's so important.
Yes.
I wake up every morning, we're driving to school. Who are champions? Who are, who's happy? We're happy. Who's confident? We're confident. I want to instill that into my kids.
Yeah.
Because I know that whatever they choose to do, they're going to be like, hey, I'm going to try to be the best at this.
Yes.
Because my dad,
Yes.
So if you were to say...
you're talking to a random person, somebody shows up randomly, and they're like, I don't know what to do with my life. I got problems, etc. They have their own thing. You don't know this person. What would be your...
Yeah, I would say start young, find a mentor.
No, they're not. Forget the age. They come in here, they're 45 years old.
Okay. And they're like, what am I doing with my life? And X, Y, and Z.
What would you, all of this conversation that we had, what advice would you give them? If it could only be a couple sentences, what advice would you give them?
I would say dive really, really deep into your purpose. Dive really deep into it, because once you find that, whatever you choose to do, everything becomes easy. It's like I come to work, I love it, I enjoy it because I found my why, I found my purpose. As easy as it is to say it, then to find it, you have to figure out a way to dive really, really, really deep into yourself and find out what makes you happy. What makes you one of one? How is it that there's a million realtors, just for example, but you could be that one realtor that has that one gift that can change the client's perspective on he's not just an agent, he's an expert in what he does. That's my 2 cents. Yeah.
I mean, I like that. No, it's. I do think purpose has to be at the pinnacle triangle of life, because everything does become easier when you know who you are, when you know what gives you that fulfillment that fills up your cup. Everything becomes so much easier. It's not even about the money anymore.
I believe we've all been born with gifts, all of us.
Yes,
but people don't really know what their gifts are, right?
No, they don't.
if you can hone into what you're good at, what you're born with, and just hone into that more and more,
Yep.
then it's a lot easier to find it.
Yep.
It's just common sense, you know. It's common knowledge, but that's what helped me. There's things that I don't like in the business, and I don't hone in on that. But there's things that I really like, and then the work that I put in becomes more fruitful because I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
All right, we're doing a run. We gotta do
Run
a run,
club.
bro. I'm holding this guy accountable. Just you guys listen to 45 minutes or whatever this
Run
is.
club. We'll start it. We'll do it once a month, and then we'll run it back. Walnut Creek will meet here, and we'll do it. What, 10K?
10K. Yeah. All right, right on. Thanks,
All right,
bro.
cool, bro. Hell yeah.